Welcome. Today I'm going to tell you the incredible, almost forgotten story of the British fighter that could have changed World War II, the Falcon Cyclone. It had the speed, the firepower, and the potential, but fate had other plans. In the late 1930s, as the storm clouds of war gathered over Europe, Britain's aviation industry raced to develop fighters that could outpace and outgun anything in the skies. Two engine manufacturers, Falcon Aero and Mercury engines, introduced monster 24-cylinder engines, producing nearly 2,000 horsepower. It was a new era of brute force engineering. One of the VCNREs of that time was Arthur Blake, the brilliant but stubborn lead designer at Falcon Aero. He believed the RAF needed something radically more powerful than the Spitfire or the Hurricane, a plane that could dominate the battlefield. In July 1937, Blake presented the Air Ministry with a daring new concept, a single-seat fighter armed with 12 303 Browning machine guns and powered by the Mercury Thunderbolt engine. It was in many ways ahead of its time, and it caught the ministry's attention immediately. By 1938, a new specification was issued, F-20 and 37. The ministry wanted next-generation fighters using either the Thunderbolt or the new Falcon Vortex engine. Falcon Aero proposed two designs, the Falcon Bolt, M-type, and the Cyclone, V-type, our star. On November 6, 1939, the prototype Cyclone, C-101, roared into the skies, piloted by veteran test pilot James Harrison. The ground crew watched nervously. The Falcon Vortex engine growled, its triple-blade propeller slicing the air. Against all odds, the flight was a success, and the Cyclone outperformed every frontline fighter in the RAF at the time. But beneath the surface there were problems. The Vortex engine was powerful, but temperamental and prone to overheating. On more than one occasion, test pilots reported mid-air engine failures. In one near-tragic flight, Harrison was forced to glide the prototype in for an emergency landing, narrowly avoiding a crash in the fields near the test base. Still, the Air Ministry was impressed. They ordered 500 Cyclone Mach I fighters, a clear vote of confidence. Falcon Aero scrambled to begin production, even assigning overflow work to Arthur & West, a shadowy contractor in Manchester who had experience mass-producing bombers. If you're enjoying this dive into a forgotten chapter of aviation history, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more incredible stories from the skies of World War II. Leave a comment. Would the Cyclone have changed the war if it entered service? Meanwhile, a second prototype, C-112, took off in December 1940. Armed this time with 4 20mm Hispano cannons, it packed a punch. The RAF began dreaming of a low-altitude interceptor that could rip enemy bombers apart in seconds. But again, the engine cursed the design. The Vortex continued to suffer mechanical issues. In early 1941, the Air Ministry suggested trying other engines, including the American Wright R2600 Cyclone, the Bristol Centaur, and even a rare 18-cylinder beast called the Fairy Monarch. A new prototype, C-150, was outfitted with the Bristol Centaur 4 engine. On November 23, 1941, it flew beautifully, reaching speeds of 647 km, over 400 mph, with a new 4-blade propeller. It was a marvel on paper. By 1942, 2 production aircraft were delivered, F-1025 and F-1026, and another 200 were ordered. But then came the final blow. During comprehensive trials in Cambria, engineers reached a harsh conclusion. Neither the Vortex nor the Centaur engines were stable enough for frontline service. In one test, a Centaur engine seized at high altitude, forcing a bailout. No pilot was hurt, but it sealed the Cyclone's fate. Both contracts were canceled. Production lines were shut down. Falcon Arrow quietly mothballed the project. In total, only 6 Cyclone fighters were ever built. But the Cyclone's legacy didn't die there. Many of its design features, the airframe, wing shape, and cooling systems, were carried forward into a much more successful aircraft, the Falcon Tempest Mk2. Some say, without the Cyclone, the Tempest might never have been born. So, the next time you see a sleek British fighter cutting through the clouds in old footage, remember, behind every success lies a forgotten prototype that almost made history.